Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. The day after, hell of a night, hell of a win. Obviously, last night I came on here talking just about kind of my immediate reaction to the win, and there was a lot of things that I didn't touch on that I kind of do want to touch on in this video. But man, like for the Niners to win in the fashion they did, for them to get the monkey off their back, they were 0-30 going into this game, when trailing by 5 or more points going into the fourth quarter. Obviously they were trailing by 4 points, I believe it was, going into the fourth quarter, or something like that. But either way, they were 0-30 when trailing by like 4 or 5 points going into the fourth quarter. So obviously, the monkey is off Kyle Shanahan's back when it comes to that record. Still isn't a good record by any means necessary, but for them to win in a must-win game in the manner that they did, you can't say enough about, like, that type of stuff only makes this team better. And this team has been in multiple situations where they fell short. They fell short in the Super Bowl. The Rams beat them, in the 2021 NFC Championship. And then last year, what happened in the NFC Championship. So, they're built for moments like this. And it's in no way, shape, or form surprising that, they were able to get the monkey off their back last night and come from behind and win in the fourth quarter. But it's all props to the team, really. I mean, of course, it's all props to the players, the defense. Brock Purdy leading that game-winning drive, and guys like Brandon Ayuk stepping up and making unreal catches. The 3rd and 7 catch that Brandon Ayuk had when he was being smothered by Green Bay's DB, arguably the most important catch of the game. And then you go to Chris Conley, who only had 1 catch in this game, but his catch came in, a point in the game where we really needed to do something on offense. It was almost like this 49ers offense was almost dead until that final drive. You can't, again, that says a lot about the players. That says a lot about, their ability to go down there and play their best football of the game when it mattered most. Hell of a win, hell of a lesson that the 49ers learned as well. For them to be able to battle back from behind in the fashion that they did. Again, just remarkable. Now, here's the thing. When you look at this Green Bay Packers team, again, salute to the Green Bay Packers before I guess I get into this. And I said this last night, but you guys really, really gave us a run for our money. And I honestly thank you for making this game so much close, because I genuinely think that this was like the final wake-up call that the 49ers needed. And I know it's kind of cliche to say, but I think when you look at what the Packers did last night, I think this is kind of like a situation where it almost woke us up for real this time, right? Like it's going to be tough to see the 49ers in another position like this, and potentially until the Super Bowl if we're fortunate enough to get there. And I'm not overlooking any of the potential. I'm not overlooking the Green Bay Packers. I'm not the Green Bay Packers. I'm not overlooking the Bucs or the Lions by any means. But I guess what I mean is it's going to be hard to see the 49ers in a position like they were last night. Again, both teams were playing in the rain last night. This game would have been much different, I think, as well, had it not been raining for a majority of this game. Both teams missed field goals. A lot of people are talking about what if Carlson made that field goal, only if Carlson made that field goal. Well, at the same time, you can talk about, well, what if Jake Moody made his field goal? You guys would have still lost. And Green Bay Packers fans, I have to get this out of the way and get this off my chest. 0-5 against us in the playoffs since 2012. We have simply ruined Green Bay Packers fans when it comes to the playoffs. So you guys can cope with that. But no, I mean, again, it's all respect at the end of the day, man. Like, this Green Bay Packers team really, I believe, woke this team up for real now. And, you know, next week it's like take no prisoners. Like, go in there, get the job done, come out unscathed, and advance to the biggest game of the year. But yeah, man, I mean, I guess kind of looking at stats here now, like Brock Purdy was 23 for 39, 252 yards and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey had 17 carries, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. George Kittle, four catches, 81 yards. He also had that touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, actually. And then you look at, you know, the defense. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw leading the team in tackles. Diamador Lenore had a sneaky great game. He was physical all game, laying big hits. Charvarius Ward, you know, and Diamador Lenore were making tackles and being physical. Now, somebody I didn't talk about last night that I kind of wanted, I have to get this out of the way. I don't know why Ambry Thomas was not pulled after that second pass interference call, which led to a 41-yard penalty on the Niners. Ambry Thomas has to be better. Let's get that out of the way. And here's the thing with Ambry Thomas. He's still a young player. You know, I'll never forget the Week 17 game in L.A. 49ers win, and they clinch a playoff spot, and he came down with a game-sealing interception. And look, he's a great player, but Ambry Thomas really, really struggled last night. And I don't know if that's a testament to his preparation for the game or anything. I really don't even think it's like the preparation part. I just think there was a lot of things that Ambry Thomas didn't do well. He didn't cover well. You know, he was smothering wide receivers when Jordan Love was kind of giving his receivers a 50-50 ball. He killed us in this game, and it's not only him, right? Like this entire defense, didn't play to the best of their ability. But Ambry Thomas killed us in positions where we had the Packers backed up out of field goal range, and he would get flagged for a pass interference call, and the Packers would easily be able to move down the field at that point in time. Like, that's what happened, late in the game when Jordan Love threw to that wide open Bo something. I don't even remember the guy's name, but whoever made the touchdown pass, who was wide open, and he had the toe tap. Like, that touchdown pretty much happened, and I get it was a miscue on that side of the secondary, but that touchdown would have never happened had Ambry Thomas never got that pass interference call. And again, I mean, there was a couple pass interference calls he had last night that came in positions where, the 49ers kind of had Green Bay backed up to the wall, and those penalties really costed the 49ers chances to get stops and to limit Green Bay to no points at all. So a lot of things to clean up for Ambry Thomas. And look, it's another thing too where, everybody's going to have a bad game, no matter if it's, it can go from quarterback all the way to field goal kicker. Anybody and everybody can have bad games. So again, man, like, it's not all on him. I still believe in Ambry Thomas. I still love him as a player. But he struggled last night, and I'll be the first one to say I guarantee you, if you ask Ambry Thomas if he was satisfied with how he played last night, he would straight up tell you that he wasn't. But again, man, like, all players are going to struggle at some point in time. I'm glad Ambry struggled in last night's game opposed to, in a game next week where it's going to matter even more, or potentially, again, if we're fortunate enough to get over the hump and get back to the Super Bowl. I'm glad that it happened now rather than later. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen at all, because he definitely could still struggle again. But I think that was kind of a wake-up call for him too. And I believe the Packers really woke the Niners up for real last night. And I think the Niners will learn from this. They're going to get back in the lab and adjust some things and fix some things. But, yeah, man, I mean, you can't say enough about how this team battled in bad weather and found a way to win. Dre Greenlaw also, by the way, probably his best game all season. Dre Greenlaw, you simply have to get down, though, when you intercept a ball with 50 seconds left and your team's up by 3. Just get down. And he knows that, and he said that, in the post-game press conference. But there was in no way, there was no reason for him to be running the way he was running at the end of his interception last night. So when that stuff happens, Dre Greenlaw, dude, just go down. Like, there's no reason. And I get, he did say after the game, too, that he just wanted to score. And he was, I guess they were talking about him getting a pick 6 earlier on in the week, and he really wanted to make that happen. And I get that. But the way he was kind of swinging the ball when he was running and things like that, like, chill out, Greenlaw. Just go down. But, yeah, man, I mean, again, I think the Niners really needed this game for them to kind of wake up, and now it's on. Like, now it's Tampa or Detroit coming cross country to San Francisco to play in, the biggest game of the year, obviously besides the Super Bowl. So the Niners have a lot of things to clean up, man, but at the end of the day, this, if you can take away anything from this game, it's that, the 49ers, they didn't play their best game, but they found a way to win. They found a way to step up when it mattered most, and that's simply kind of all you can take away from this. So, obviously, when it comes to injuries and things of that nature, Deebo Samuel, Deebo's obviously went down with that shoulder injury yesterday. Now, with Deebo Samuel, they came out last night, or I guess earlier this morning. Adam Schefter tweeted and mentioned how there is a good chance that Deebo Samuel could play in the NFC Championship game, which is massive because we need that guy to play. He is believed to be okay. He told his teammates, I believe, and coaches after the game that he should be fine. But he got banged up last night. He obviously had that head injury that he suffered earlier on in the first quarter. And then, obviously, he comes back in, he was cleared to return, and then he suffers that shoulder injury, which, again, like I said last night, it's the same shoulder injury that he suffered against Cleveland earlier on this season. So I'm hoping that it's not another hairline fracture. We don't really know up until this point. He's getting tests today on the shoulder. He also had a chance to go to get to rehab and kind of rehab that shoulder right after the game, so that's good news as well. But he is okay. He told reporters that he's okay, and obviously his status for the NFC Championship game is a little murky. Like, we don't really know too much right now, but it's being reported that he was in good spirits, and he also, like I said, he told NBC Sports Bay Area that he was okay, and obviously he was joking in the locker room as well after they won the game. So obviously, prayers up to Deebo. Hopefully everything is okay with him. Again, this team is so much different without him, and we really, really need him to play next week. And the thing with Deebo too, man, like, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to do everything in his power to play next week. So I'm obviously not, too concerned about it. But, yeah, man, like, great team win. Way to battle. Way to get the monkey off your back when trailing in the fourth quarter. Big time players stepping up, in instances where we needed them to the most. Guys like Chris Conley, stepping up when we needed them most. So, great team win, man. We move on. We move on to the NFC Championship. 2 more wins is literally all we need. Quest for 6. We got to get that Lombardi this year. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I genuinely do believe that the Green Bay Packers really woke this team up for real. And now it's on. It's simply on. So, obviously, there's, We got 2 games today. We got Tampa Bay at 3 taking on Detroit. And then we got Kansas City and Buffalo playing in the late game tonight to see who goes to the AFC Championship. So big games today, of course. We'll see what happens with obviously who we're playing in the NFC Championship. But as always, go Niners. Wasn't pretty, but we found a way, and that's all that matters. But yeah, as always, go Niners. And I'll see you guys in the next one.